Welcome everybody to the all new Inside Out podcast. We've revamped, we've redone, and we've changed the format a little bit. Also added my man Micah, Almond as my co-host. We're gonna this new iteration of the podcast. We're gonna have, like we always did, sports. We're gonna have the banter. We're gonna have the jokes. We're gonna have the slander. But also we're gonna get into some culture, be it anything from music to acting, comedy, business, and even clothing. And speaking of clothing, on the show today, my man Fresco Jones. Not going to give the government.
What up? Appreciate that.
Don't want that. He got warrants and baby mamas out there.
Nah.
Welcome to my man Fresco and my man Micah. What's up, fellas?
Appreciate you for having me.
Yes, good to be here, man.
Definite. Now, before we start the show, we're going to get into the sports, the trades, and all that stuff later. But I want to get to know my man Fresco. Well, I know him, and I'm proud to say I know him. I've been knowing him for a few years.
Yeah.
Like, what's it been like since 2012,
2011, maybe?
I met y'all in like 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like good word. That's what, like 9 years? Do the math, carry the 2. Yeah, about
and then
9
track
years.
the 1. Yeah, you looking at about 11.
About 11 something. Yeah, something like that. But you know what I'm saying? Watching these fellas, Micah, Fresco, Darius, all these fellas just grow and seeing them do their thing. And especially my man Fresco with his new venture, Brthrs clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, I just wanted to say I'm proud of you because I knew you coming up doing graphic design, both of you college graduates.
Mm-hmm.
So now to sit here and do this with you, man, it's surreal. And I'm proud of you guys and just blessed to be here with you.
Man, I appreciate that.
On a real serious note,
mm-hmm.
I just want to know before we get any further, Fresco. Remember that time when we was playing 2K?
I knew this was gonna come up. I knew this was gonna come up.
I knew that you knew that I was gonna say it. Yeah. But I just wanted to know what your mind state was when I skunked you with the Clippers after you played me with the Clippers and I beat you. I forgot. I think I was with the Jazz or somebody terrible, and I beat you. And you chose somebody else, and I beat you with the same Clippers you just lost with. And I think it was by like 20, Micah. It was like 20 or something like that. We were sitting in the lounge on the big screen TV.
I remember losing. I do remember losing. I just don't remember the score. I do remember losing.
But I knew it was 20. I knew it was like because you looked at me and you looked at the controller like.
No, you know what? And Micah can attest to this. You know what I'm saying? Like we all do for one. Everybody do for a day where it just ain't your day. Like not to take anything from Lynton because he's an amazing 2K player. Micah is an amazing 2K player, but Micah can also attest to my IQ behind playing basketball and playing on the game. Like, hey,
he's up there.
I know. I played ball with you. You could play ball for real. Y'all could play ball for real. I remember we played for real.
Yeah, and it was a good
run. I'm retired. I'm too old for that.
I used to tell Micah like, Lynton got me, bro. I was like, I never forgot it. You know what I'm saying?
I just wanted to start the show off so you understand where we're going with everything.
I like how we starting this off. Let's get into it.
Yeah,
let's get into it.
You always do one.
So first of all, I just want you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do, who you are, and ventures that you're involved in. Go ahead.
I go by the name Fresco now, and real name is Corey Jones for people who wondering. But man, I went to Art Institute with these guys, and you know what I'm saying. Got my degree. I took the corporate route for about 6-7 years. And, I just thought it was time for me to venture out and see what I can do for myself, and chasing that financial freedom, and just time to spend on myself and acquire more skills and knowledge to further all those things. So now, I started my clothing line with my best friend, Gerard Sutton.
All right.
I started that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had our ups and downs, but now, we realized, it's time to put the, put the foot on the pedal. And the last few months, the following has grown over 1,000 in a few months. In like 2 months, we got over 1,000 followers. Just being aggressive and, just seeing where it takes us. But it's not going to stop there. For once we hit the clothing, it's on to a bigger ball game, like, to the, investments, properties, more businesses, you know what I'm saying? And, I ventured out and did a little side hustle with the whole Fresco threads thing.
Mhm.
It's a custom, hat line that I'm doing. They're very limited pieces, so a lot of those pieces that I do release, you won't see often. So,
Okay.
if
And them
you
joints
like
is
it,
dope.
get in. Yeah, appreciate it.
Them joints is dope, man. I wish I could
Mhm.
fit them, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My head big.
Hey, my head big too, but I get them, and with the hair, when I get it braided and whatnot,
Mhm.
for guys like me and you who
Yeah.
have dreads and have hair with big
Mhm.
heads,
Mhm.
some of these hats might fit.
Okay. Because
Most
I'm
of
like
mine fit my head.
like when I was doing fitteds and stuff without dreads, it was like 8, and I was in that 8 range. Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, I'm an alpha,
I
you
was,
know what I'm
I
saying?
was like a 7'5" when
Yeah,
I
You
that's
had
gotta ask for
when I
that
had
hat.
the
I'm
waves
bigger than
in.
the average
You
bear.
gotta
Like,
ask for that hat. That size.
what'd you say? What'd you say, Mike?
You got to
You
call
have
the
to ask
store.
for that one.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to
you
call the
gotta
store.
literally like. I remember I had to go to the store. I go to Lids and I'd be looking like, I just be like, bump that, like, hey man, what hats do you got in Lynton up? And they had to show me. I didn't even bother looking. I just asked what they got. That's it. So the question is like, your background. Like, I know your background was graphic design and whatnot. What led you to start Brthrs? I know you said financial freedom, but what was the aha moment? Like you woke up and said, I'm gonna do this, and
All
why?
right, so in 2014, it was what, a year from college. I ventured and tried to help a friend of mine start his own clothing line, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of wanted me to, just be like the designer, but also have like control.
Mm-hmm.
I just guess like at that certain time, it didn't align with things I was trying to do, and so it just kind of withered away. It never was like, hey, I don't want to do this. Hey, it just didn't happen.
Okay.
And so from 2014 to 2018, it was just pretty much a hiatus. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just going to work, designing and going home, playing 2K. That was about that. And living great. You know what I mean?
Like what, 22, 23 around there? Like
I was 20. I had just turned 23 years old. So from 23 to like 26, 27, I was just being a 20-year-old. Like, I mean, I wouldn't, my knowledge of certain things wasn't where it is now. But how Brthrs started, I was at it's funny because I was at Boogaloo, which is a little spot downtown in Atlanta.
Yep.
And it was around the time where the Falcons was getting ready to go to the Super Bowl.
Wait a minute. The Falcons. Oh, this is the 28 special. Okay.
Yes, it's that tragic year.
It was a wonderful year.
Oh,
for a few. And then it was, what made it worse, wasn't it here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That what made it worse. Brand new Mercedes Dome, all that stuff. So I looked at that as a moment for us to monetize and capitalize off of it, right?
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I'm a designer, right? I got some friends who are willing to put some money up and getting certain products and stuff made. So we was gonna make our own like Atlanta Falcons themed clothing, and like, whatever we had to do, whether we had to get a permit or go somewhere and set up shop and sell these items. That way you won't have to buy the same old cookie cutter shirts.
I feel you.
You can get custom things that were created from, 2 to 3 individuals that nobody else will have. You'll be in there. And for the people who want their own style, their own swag, you can come here, buy these items instead of just going in there, putting on the same shirt, same hat everybody else put on. So that's where the Brthrs clothing started. So initially it was supposed to be a sports-based thing.
Yeah.
But as we're creating this stuff, we like,
look,
why not just do our own clothing line? You know what I'm saying? Because, I was like, it can be bigger than just wrapping this up around the Falcons.
I feel you.
And at this point, why would I wrap it around the Falcons?
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Hey, to be honest, I'm not a Falcons fan.
What?
I just.
You from East Atlanta, right?
Yeah, but anytime the Falcons do
that on
something,
your birth certificate, like Falcons fan, like.
Nah, never.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like I never was an avid football fan.
I feel you.
I do understand the game of football. I've played football, but to me, to go and watch it, it really didn't do it for me. Basketball did it for me.
I know. I'm the same way.
But but when you're a sports fan, you're gonna support home team regardless.
Mhm.
Like
Facts.
I don't play that much soccer. I like it, but I'm cheering for Atlanta United. Anytime they go, like they champions. I was lit. I'm like, okay, Atlanta got
Yeah,
something.
I used to go to the games. The games are off the chain. The games
Yeah.
are off the chain.
And so that's where Brthrs started with me, my friends sitting at a lounge in downtown Atlanta, and we just sitting here like, you know, how can we take this and capitalize and, you know what I'm saying, and see what happens. We'll worry about the rest later.
Yep.
And three years later, you know.
Where you at, man? That's a great story. That's a great, because I know from my past history, you know, with my homeboys back home in Rhode Island, we had a similar story, started our own little entertainment thing. Like we was young dudes, just had nothing to do. And we just like one day it was like, hey man, we want to start DJing, promoting clubs. Let's just do something. Like with your age, and you're like, at first it was just like, hey, a lot of these dudes got a lot of the girls coming to the parties. We got a lot of friends. Maybe, you know, get some chicks to come to the parties.
Yeah.
Then it just became into like a career almost. We start DJing around town, promoting other people's club nights and whatnot, being on the radio, doing all that. So like I understand where you're coming from. You just sat around and you're like, yo, we could really do this for real, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. You got something to chime in, Micah?
Yeah, and just to add, you know, seeing, you know, his journey, I remember the conversation with Corey, you know, being in that corporate aspect and being in that environment for so long, you know, he was just like, you know, I can do this myself, you know, and I applaud him and seeing the journey.
Yeah. And I'm the same way too. Like I literally was like, my brother got into it the same way as Corey. Like he got into photography by just playing around with some photos. And next thing you know, he's a photographer. And then that leads to, you know, he's doing graphic design, and now he's doing printing. So it's like I always tell people, like the one thing you go to college for or you start learning can lead to other things. Because I went to college to be in marketing, and then I got to quantitative business analysis, and then realized, yeah, it sounds hard by just the name. Like I didn't know I thought marketing was going to be advertising, because you know I'm a little. I just turned 45, so I watch Boomerang and Marcus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Classic. That's a classic.
They was doing marketing, and I was like, if that's marketing, I want to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody told me there's different types of marketing. And for a marketing degree, you got to do all of marketing.
Yeah.
And the analytical part of marketing was the QBA. And I failed that 2 times in a row, and I was like, I'm done. But then I realized, you know, by doing that, I got into video and radio, and that kind of, I can still be in marketing, but I don't have to do that marketing.
And see, like, speaking of changing directions, I initially never went to Art Institute for Graphic Design.
For real? Where'd you go for?
Yeah.
I had no idea what graphic design was. I didn't know what it entailed. I didn't know what came with it. I went to school for game art and design.
For real?
Yes, I wanted to make video games, bro.
Why you laughing?
I wanted to be whatever Ron 2K, like whatever he's doing over there, or somebody. I want to do what he's doing.
Okay.
That's what I wanted. I was like, if it was any way I could make 2K better, I want to be that guy to be there. And I wish I would have stayed, because I probably could have made 2K better than what it is today.
Okay.
Because it sucks.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, to me, a lot of times the games just seem like the same game. Like
it is.
I mean, I can't knock it because it's basketball. Like basketball in real life is just the same people over and over.
Yeah.
It's just New Year. But when the commercials come out, they're like, "Oh, we're doing this," and I'm like, "Looks still the same to me."
Yeah.
Like,
It's the whole like how so heavy on e-commerce.
Yeah.
It has gotten like you know what I'm saying? Like when I was playing games growing up, it was all about, you know, believe it or not, it was about the journey. Like, okay, I gotta do this if I want to get to this level. That little kid can go in there and get his mom credit card. Hey, I'm finna get 250,000 VC. My dude gonna be gold tomorrow. Like, okay, you know. And then it's just like all this stuff that they add to the games. I'm just like, you know, it takes the fun out of it. That's why if I'm getting on, I'm only getting on with Micah and the gang. That's it. Micah, Lango. If they're not on, I'm not getting on. I'm not playing nobody. I
mean, I'm the same way. I play with my nephew. He's 12. He's the only person that, like, I've I've been playing 2K since it was literally 2K.
Yeah, just 2K. Was that the one with Iverson on the front?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We started playing way back then, and to now. So for me, it's just like the game ain't really changed. Just the whatever engine that powers it, like the AI, the way that they react and things like that. That has gotten way better. But in essence, it's the same thing. It's just
same thing.
It's more fun playing against. But for them, I think they got to make money. So like after a while,
understood.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna start to monetize it. Be like, yo, we can sell them these VCs. I remember coming up, I used to see the virtual coins, and I'd be like, I was like, what is this? Like, is it real money?
Hey, that was crypto before we knew it. You know what I mean?
And I remember, I mean, speaking of crypto, I remember when the Bitcoins first came out, and they were like, yo, you can bet with people, and they'll give Bitcoins, and I was like, And I remember dudes was like, I'll give you a Bitcoin. And I didn't understand the concept way back then, but I wish I had bought a couple of them just messing around.
You would have had about 60K at its highest peak.
Man.
Off that one.
Yeah, I know. I didn't understand it then.
Nobody did, bro. Like nobody saw that.
No one did.
Nobody understands it now. So I don't
And people who hop in it without knowing it, they still don't understand it. They just going it off hype, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I did make some money off the Dogecoin. I was in that prior before everybody started hopping into it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had a lot of them, and you know, my return on it was pretty nice. But after that, I seen how people reacted to it and started hopping into it just based off of that quick spike that happened overnight. It literally happened overnight.
Yeah.
And I woke up that morning like looking at my investing. I'm like,
sell that real quick.
Yeah, let me get that up out of there, bro.
I'll give you a week and then I'm out. Like,
my only regret is I wish I would have went heavier on it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I can't be mad.
All right, bet. So now that we have Brthrs Clothing, what's your plans for it? Like, what? I mean, I know you say you do hats. I know you did some shirts, but like, what's going to be the overall vision for it?
Overall,
like ultimately, where do you see it yourself? Is it something you want to do forever, or is it something you're going to build up and sell if it becomes successful, and when?
That's tough to say, because I really it can be a lot of tangibles in there as it grows. You know, if my time is occupied by other things and I can't, you know, cater to it like I want, or you know, it you know, it may reach a peak where it doesn't go past a certain level and I can sustain it. But, you know, I mean, I definitely would want it to go beyond further than what I can even fathom, to be honest. If I can see it, you know, online stores and, you know, small boutiques, that's why I see it. I really don't want it to be or go past, like, I want it to feel exclusive without being without being noticed. You know what I mean? I wanted to get to a point where you know about it, everybody wants it, but
like boutique type of
I want that boutique essence. Like I would love to have a little small like Brthrs boutique somewhere in a Brookhaven area set up real nice somewhere, you know, and then, you know, have it venture out. Maybe we get another store, you know, in Houston, and then we can venture out, maybe, you know, have a store in Florida somewhere. You know, you never know. But I would love to see it go there. But I'm just utilizing it as a tool for extra income to, like, for me to cross over in different lanes as far as like the real estate game. And, you know, one thing that I'm really looking forward to getting into is this whole this Turo and this Airbnb thing, because I have some ideas that I would like to apply in that may change the aspect and how people look at Airbnbs and, you know, Turos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at that stuff too. Real estate. And, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just turned 45. So in my head, I got 5 more years. I'm trying to create some passive income.
Exactly.
The wife and myself and the family.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. So like, even if I continue working, I know I'm building this towards retirement. And I think a lot of brothers your age, I'm really happy to see that you guys are thinking of that. Because when I was your age, I was just thinking about, you know, how can I get on? Like we wanted to be, you know, we grew up in that Puff Daddy, Bad Boy, Uptown Records, Andre Harrell. So we kind of saw the model like everybody, but you didn't know. You just saw entertainment.
Yeah.
So it was like, man, I got to make it in entertainment. I can be an entrepreneur in entertainment, but you didn't really think about being an entrepreneur in other things other than entertainment.
Yeah.
So for my generation, we got caught up in that. Like, we got to make it big in entertainment and anything making money that way. But the real estate game, you know what I'm saying? Just, like clothing or all that stuff. Like those are opportunities going forward. And I'm looking at that with Airbnb, rental property, like real estate is the lick. Like they ain't gonna make no more of it, and it's always available. So if you can get in, you can always make money if you're doing it right and get in.
Big,
real big. So I'm definitely looking forward to crossing over into that lane because I think that's gonna be crazy. Like especially me particularly, I'm aiming for the mobile home. The mobile home game.
Yeah.
That we all three of us could get in it today. And 200 more guys can get in it, and it still won't be oversaturated.
No, it won't.
Man, and then your return on investment is way higher than you going and getting a home, renovating it and resell it. But you can get these mobile homes next to nothing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes almost nothing. You can get it, and you get rid of it. Now you got profit. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the mobile home game right now.
Yeah, because my wife is the one who put me onto it. She started taking some classes and whatnot, and she started looking into the mobile homes. Matter of fact, we went to look at a couple mobile homes just to see what they were about. And she looked at the numbers. She was like, "Hey, this mobile home is like $16,000. You fix it up. You could either sell it or rent it, and you can
see." So you already know.
Yeah, and I was like, she was like, "Yeah, mobile homes are the lick. You can buy a mobile home, or you can just go renovate ones that exist and sell them." And I'm like, people are in mobile homes like that. And she was like, there's over 300 million people in this country. There's plenty of people who live in mobile. There's plenty because they may not be able to afford a standard home, but a mobile home, you could just, if you got the money and you can get a loan for 16, because I think they range from like 16 to, some of them are like, depending how big, like 60,000. But for the most part, it's like 16 grand.
Yeah.
That you started with a basic one. And then you got a place to live. You just got to find a spot. Or you can do a mobile home spot, or you got a piece of land. You just put that on there. You just get a foundation, and you're good. I was like, okay, that's a good little lick, man. I mean, we're gonna look into that. So like I said, next 5 years, your boy's looking at real estate. I've already started lining up people I know who I went to school with that are doing real estate. I got a cousin in Florida who do real estate, so I'm trying to like get everything going in the next year.
Hey, I'm on the same tip. I'm on the same tip.
I got 2 kids, and one of them is about 8 years away from going to college. And my first, you got plenty of time. Now it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's right around the corner.
Wow, that time flies, Lynton. I remember when your son was.
Yeah,
that's. He was coming up to the school.
Yeah, he was coming up to the school just running around playing. But now he over there playing video games. We got him in virtual school. He didn't really want to go in with the COVID thing, and we wasn't really feeling that. As you can see, looked online, they had like 100 something new cases in Gwinnett County schools alone.
Yeah,
we out here in Gwinnett County.
You keep him at home, man.
Keep him at home.
Man, he did well over the pandemic. Like a lot of people were like, "Yo, my kids can't do the online learning." Like he was like, we told him like, "Yo, just treat it like it's regular school, and you'll get through it." I was hoping for the best, but he would wake up every morning, brush his teeth, go get his little outfit together for school, get his breakfast. We'd be like, we had like a little whiteboard with everything he got to do for the day, all his class notes, so he could keep track, make sure he do everything, and then he'd be there right there. And he enjoyed it. He said it was cool because he knew I just got to be here, and that's it. So a lot of other kids would get like, oh, I have to have the students. He didn't mind. He was good because he knew once he was done, and that was it. Plus, he was at home on his computer, so he was happy with that. So I was really happy that he was able to, you know what I'm saying, to take to it, so to speak.
Yeah, that's dope.
Ooh, that's Brthrs clothing right there. I'm sorry.
Good.
I'm gonna share this. I was sharing it earlier, but you know what I'm saying? Just giving a little.
Ain't nothing wrong with some nip.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I remember when you first dropped it. I was like, yo, that joke is tight, man. Like,
Man, appreciate it, man. Also, man, let me give a shout out to my business partner, man, because I kind of let him run the page now.
yeah,
So like anything you've probably been seeing
yeah,
for the past like 2, 3, maybe 4 months,
Mhm.
I may have some little, you know what I'm saying, times where I come in to do something, but it's been all him. So I appreciate him.
Male model, because a lot of it, because I used to be like, because at first I was like, Corey good with the camera, he just be posing and letting his camera take photos, but now you're giving away the secret sauce. So you was the model. He was.
I was taking my own photos though. I was taking my own photos.
Because I remember when it first started, I didn't realize it was a clothing line. I was like, Corey just be like taking pictures of himself. Like, I realized, like, wait a minute, what's that beef? I was like, all right. I was like, oh, he got his own clothing line now. Okay.
Yeah,
I feel you.
So yeah, I was taking my own pictures at one point. And you know, I was like, you know what? Let me help my partner help us. So if I can't touch it, or if I can't make it to go take pictures, or if I can't get access to the site for maintenance to update inventory and you know, update pictures and add this and that, me and him got on an Instagram video chat, and we just set it up, and we were just running through it. And I was like, hey, whenever you do this, go here. And now he a machine now, so I don't even have to tell him nothing. Like, he go on there, he posts, he do this, he's engaging with the following. You know what I'm saying? We at one point we was doing we tried our first giveaway, you know, just by doing some questions, just keeping people engaged and trying to grow the following, and just trying to make people, you know, like what we bring, because I know the people who follow me, they know me. Yeah. And the people who follow him, they know him. If you know us, you know what I'm saying, we're good down to earth people, we're cool, we're relatable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I always try to, you know, my first impression is everything. So if anybody who ever met me, you know what I'm saying, we still friend like us. We still friends years later. You know what I mean? So it's like, I met y'all in college. You know, I got friends from elementary school who I'm still cool with to this day.
Me too.
But like, you know, people don't buy the product at first. They buy you.
Yep.
So like, I don't think you can't have a brand, and that could be just, you know, talking out my ass, but I mean, it's hard for people to build a brand and then don't nobody really like you. Like, I'm not
the brand is you. When they say branding, it's you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You. I'm not buying just the shirt. The shirt is a representation of you, your style, whatever, but I'm buying you. I trust you.
Yeah.
I trust the clothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So quality behind it, you know what I'm saying? You know, I try to be a man of my word. So if anybody knows me, I try to stick to my word, you know, as much as possible. And if something changes, I'll let you know, like, hey, I don't think this can happen. I don't know if I'm gonna make it here. Or if something happens, like, I apologize. I always come back and reassure them, like, hey, it wasn't intentional, it wasn't this. How can we fix it? You know, and I do that with the brand. Like, if a customer is waiting on a package and it's been up over a week and we promise 2-3 days, you know, we'll compensate. Hey, I might send you a free item, or your next purchase, you know, is 25% off or something. So I always, and my friend, my business partner, we always try to follow up with every customer who engages with us. And we let them know, like, hey, you know, we're not going to just treat you like a number or a debit card in our system. Like, you have a name, you know what I'm saying? You're a follower, you support us, we'll support you right back.
Facts. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So last thing. Go ahead.
Oh, not to cut you off, Lynn. You know, Corey understands the retail aspect of the business too. You know, he worked at, you know, a shoe store. You know, and
for
I
like
can say
7
he
years,
knows,
bro.
he knows what people are looking for and how the customer wants to be treated, you know, firsthand. But a question real quick, Corey, can we expect a pop-up shop soon, or?
Definitely. I'm looking towards, we're waiting on this, we're waiting on a particular set of outfits that we are getting made, right? We're waiting on that to come through. And once all that is settled, because I feel like now we've built enough inventory to like have a really great pop-up experience. So yeah, we can expect that real soon, probably beginning of fall.
Okay.
We can expect the first Brthrs pop-up shop.
Okay.
Now, will the Brthrs chain be there? You know, I've been asking for this for a very long time. Lynn, I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's a limited piece.
Oh, you got a chain?
Yeah. His business partner, I saw it, he had it. I said, I don't want the clothes. I need that.
Oh,
that's the
my
first thing I
business
went
partner took the initiative of. That showed me how invested he is with me. He went and got a custom a 14 karat gold Brthrs pendant.
Niggas got money,
man.
You know, so
on
that
burger, man.
It has this V on it. It has this V on it.
Chain.
Oh,
so you know,
that's the Rockefeller. Okay,
I need to be blessed with that.
Once you get the chain,
everybody when they join the team, here's your chain.
Yeah, you join the Illuminati now. Here's your chain.
Oh, man.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah,
but no, like that's something he did on his own, man. And
so you're gonna get into the jewelry line now? Is that what I mean? It ain't
I
got
would love to, because the return on jewelry, believe it or not, is ridiculous. Like, come on, I don't even want to talk about jewelry. Them folks robbing people, bro.
Oh, I know.
They robbing people, bro. But at that point, when you got the money, they don't even care.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to waste your money on jewelry, unless you get married or something like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, other than that, only thing I buy is gold. So, that's it.
I buy is rubber bands.
I need that piece.
Just rubber bands. That's all I buy.
I'll talk to him and see if we can get that piece made. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, we need that.
Okay. One last question. I want to know, like, starting your business, like, what were some of the ups and downs, like learning lessons learned that you got getting into the clothing game? I know you're still young in the scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
So from where you started to where you are now, like things that you learned that you didn't know going into it, that now you're like, okay, we got this under control now.
Really just the basics, like you know, I never ran across somebody or talked to somebody older or anybody in my family on how to start a business. So and I mean, my friend, you know, my partner, like, we just took it upon ourselves to, like, hey man, we just gonna figure it out. So, like, you know, they have some sites where you have to pay somebody to file an LLC for you, right?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I can do that myself. So that's the first thing we did. We went, did research, we filed the LLC ourselves. So just figuring out, you know, how to properly set up your LLC for whatever type of business you're trying to run. Like, if you do the homework, you don't have to pay nobody to do something like that for yourself.
It's not hard.
It's simple. You know what I'm saying? I made another one a couple months ago.
Yeah,
like,
I did it,
you know what I'm saying?
A few times.
And so, you know, just that part was new to me because I never talked about or thought about going through that process to do it. I thought you just made stuff, sold stuff, but now I'm seeing the behind scenes of, like, how this stuff has to work. And then just being consistent. We had moments where we was just treating the clothing like a hobby. Like, we didn't treat it like it was that newborn baby. Like, we treated it like, oh man, you want to go shoot hoops? You don't? Okay, well, we ain't got to go shoot. We could just sit here and chill. Like, we would drop stuff, we'll sell some stuff, and then that was it. Like, you know, we'll hit them points where we just didn't give any attention, and we just thought it was gonna come because, you know, people like us. Oh, we're cool. I'm like, no, you got to put that groundwork in. So those 1,000 followers I told you about, that came from, you know, seeing how ads work, how Pixel ad works, how Facebook ads work, SEOs. That's how we increase more of our sales online. You know, utilizing search engine optimizations and stuff like that, trying to be found on Google. You know, still like that stuff costs money, but you know what I'm saying, that's where we're trying to get to. You know, and steps we had to learn, like how to properly grow your business and then being noticed out here at the same time, and then making some of those clicks we get, turn them into or convert them into purchases and stuff like that. So now we got purchases being made in Colorado and you know, Florida, Detroit, you know, we got people all over California. Like, we got people all over the United States, and pretty much it's a Brthrs item in that state somewhere.
Okay, that's pretty dope.
And that's dope for me. I don't care if it's just one person. From it coming from Boogaloo Lounge in Atlanta to being all the way in Los Angeles, California on somebody's head, then they taking a picture and tagging us in it, like, appreciate the dope hat. I'm shopping with y'all again. Like, we just went halfway across the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, we never would have thought. So just staying consistent and putting your energy behind something that you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but good is gonna come from it. Like, you're gonna have moments where don't nobody buy a thing. Then you're gonna have moments where, like, bro, we just sold out everything in 2 days. Like, you know, that's business. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when you realize that and you just keep putting your energy behind it, don't stop, just keep pushing. Be aggressive with whatever you promote, whatever you push. I know y'all probably done seen my Fresco hats, you know, sponsored. I know you probably don't see. I'm constantly promoting it. I don't care. You're gonna be annoyed. You're gonna be annoyed. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you gotta do it. That's how you gotta do it. You gotta build your brand. It's gotta be consistent. It's gotta be every day. It's gotta be every minute. So, and when you see it, you're gonna think of me. When you see Brthrs, you're gonna know that next time you see that B, or next time you see that Brthrs spelled in that ligature or that cursive or that type, you're gonna think you're gonna know who this is when you see it, no matter where you are. Like, you can be in Poland and you see a damn billboard with Brthrs, you're like, these is in Poland. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope.
You gonna know it off rip. Like, I'm trying to be like, that's when I took a turn, because I was like, at one point I felt we was doing so many different things, and that's what I mean by being consistent. We weren't being consistent with our approach as far as like the type of clothing we was delivering. Like, it may be we were so wrapped up in designing things for fads, as far as like what are people reacting to right now? Okay. What are people, you know, like, we can't get caught up into that, because then we'll lose sight of what's our focus.
So you guys got to set your own trend. Like, we're
exactly.
So we're not doing what they're doing.
Like, because I originally, you know, when everybody was saying like no cap, that's what really set us off. Yeah. I designed a no cap design, and it was originated from the Gap design, right? And we've seen people. I remember that. Yeah, we've seen people take that Gap logo and turn it into something else, like the Trap dude. When he took the box and turned it into Trap. When I seen it, I was like, it was so smart. I'm like, and it fit the time, because everybody wanted to trap. Yeah. So, and if you didn't trap, you can at least buy clothing that said it. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like you was a part of the culture, right?
Played a part.
So, and Buddy made a bag off of that. You know what I'm saying? So he don't know it, but his design and his take on that design led me to treat it the way I did it. But then I did a one up on him. Not one up on him, but I was like, let me do something else. I took the other Gap design and utilized it and kind of renditioned it and changed it. Yeah. So I had 2 instead of 1. Okay. So I was giving people 2 options on something that was for the culture instead of just 1. And when we dropped it, we sold out pretty much that weekend. I dropped it on a Thursday or a Friday, and it was gone by Sunday. Ooh, that's good. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as soon as it hit Instagram, you got to think, bro. The following was nowhere. Like, I probably had like 400 or 500 followers on my page. And the Brthrs page wasn't even really nowhere yet. We just dropped, so it didn't have a following. So we was just going off of people we know and just shooting pictures, DM, like, hey, you know, we just dropped this. Hey, what you think? Oh yeah, let me get that in the medium. Let me get that in the extra large. Let me get that in the small. And then I was like, okay, I think we got something. And you know, we was excited. And like I said, we hit that hiatus. We started treating it like a hobby, but now we're being consistent. All you see is this B now. Yeah, you're gonna see B and Brthrs. If you notice, you don't see no other different design. Because I'm working on brand identity and brand recognition. So when you see that B, I want you to automatically be like, that's Corey, that's his homeboy Gerard, that's their stuff. Yep. As simple as that.
That's dope, man. I'm proud of you on that. Proud of you.
Appreciate it.
On that. You and Gerard and the whole team.
Appreciate that.
I mean, that's what
And
happened.
he'll definitely appreciate you saying that too. He'll definitely appreciate it. One of the most humblest guys I ever met.
Because I remember just seeing it from the first time you dropped it to now, and I'm like you said, I'd be on Instagram when I scroll through. I'm like, oh, there go Corey again. There go brother.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
that's my boy. That's the team. You know what I'm saying? That's y'all too. Because like the brothers is more than just a name. Like
that's what I was going to ask you. What's the meaning behind the name? Like in the Black culture, we know, but for you, what's the significance?
It's crazy because like it ties back to that whole Boogaloo in the lounge situation where we was trying to come up with this Falcon-based sports thing. Because as I was doing research and coming up with designs, I'm like, let me start looking up all the sports teams and seeing what's going on. I think it's more so on the Atlanta's part that they call it a brotherhood, right? Yeah. They had this thing that was running with called the brotherhood. And I was like, that's kind of dope because I'm like, you know, Atlanta, like we one of the few teams that we're one of the few cities that had sports in each category, even hockey, you know, baseball, basketball, football, and soccer. Like Alabama ain't got nothing.
Nope.
So you know what I'm saying? Like
they got college football. That's it.
And that's it. And what, Auburn? And so they got Auburn in Alabama.
They just got college athletics. Period. That's it.
Yeah. So when you think about it, I'm like, bro, that's really. I said that's dope. And I'm thinking when the Falcons say brotherhood, I kind of looked at it differently from how they thought of it. They was thinking solely in-house. I was thinking entirely Atlanta as an entity. Like that's a strong base. Like we have so much going on, and that's where the whole Brthrs came from. I took the brotherhood, and I was like, I like this, and then I'm doing it with dudes I call my brothers.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying, and it just kind of went from there. So I took that, and I was like, I brought it to the team. I was like, "What you think?" He's like, "I think we should go with that." And so we took it. I kind of deconstructed it. You know, took the vowels out. You know what I'm saying? And
in Atlanta, cats don't say vowels.
Very true. Very true.
Hey,
that's what I was like. Yo, did he do that on purpose? Because in Atlanta, cats don't be saying a lot of the vowels and all that stuff. They kind of slide through it. So I was like, I wonder if that's what I did that.
I'm gonna start saying it just to correlate with the streets. I'm be like, you know, I took them vowels out, right? Because you don't. So I was thinking about you when I did this.
Okay.
Yep. You know what I'm saying?
In my head, I was like, from East Atlanta, that's probably something to play on that. But now, okay, you can take that. I'm helping with the branding.
Yeah,
it's free, no charge.
Appreciate that. I seen your little check for that. I seen your check for that.
No, you gotta send a check when we start looking for sponsors and whatnot. That's when you send a check.
Oh, you know okay, for sure. Right? Yeah, I got you.
When we get to that level, we start reaching out for sponsors. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with that.
We'll see how we do. But before we switch up to the sports and whatnot, I want you to let everybody know how can they get in contact with not just you, but the Brthrs Clothing line. How can we reach it?
You could definitely find us on IG. Type in BRTHRS Clothing, and we'll pop up. You'll see the Brthrs in lowercase. It's gonna be a white background, blue and black logo. You can't miss it. And then we're also on Facebook. You type in that same thing, BRTHRS Clothing, and then the website is the same, BRTHRS Clothing. You type that in .com right after that. You can go on there, look at what we got, see everything you like. We got you.
Bet. So now I'm gonna let Micah take the lead. We're gonna switch over to the sports because I know Corey's a big sports fan, basketball player.
Oh, yeah.
His jumper was, you know what I'm saying? His jumper when we played, it was good. But his driving the hole, he had that like Michael Jordan, George Gervin, Isaiah Thomas type.
Link.
That's
what it is. The link.
He crossed me over and went to the hole. I thought I could reach him. All of a sudden, his go-go gadget arms just like
that's the Space Jam.
I didn't even know he played like that. I was like, damn, Corey.
Yeah, man. Like me and Micah,
man, king right
get it
there.
in. Yeah,
pick and roll king.
I'm telling you, we was running that thing in the Decatur gym, man. We was running them pick and roll offenses, bro. Them folks like, bro, these people playing organized ball, bro.
Hey, man, it ain't organized if you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's the difference. Y'all just
basketball.
You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it.
All right, Micah, you can lead it off. Like, what you want to start off with?
Just the off-season moves over this past week. I think the league was shaking up, of course. Both conferences look completely different, in my opinion.
Boy, do they?
I think the Eastern Conference is no more. But someone brought this up to me yesterday. They think people are running from, the king. And I wanted to know, do you guys believe that?
Well, who do they consider the king? Like, who's running?
LeBron,
LeBron? Because, they
LeBron
like to play. Because I know LeBron, but, people like to say, no, he's not the king anymore, KD, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think people are running from him. I feel like they just trying to go. They trying to go somewhere where they feel like they have a chance to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's tough. It's tough to say because like nobody wants to be a copycat, or nobody wants to be like, oh, I ran into a super team, this, that, and the third. And we got to change up that whole narrative about the super team because
Thank you, Corey. Speak on it. Go ahead.
Like, I mean, you can't blame a player for taking initiative and trying to get success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, Kobe, was blessed to have Shaq and Phil Jackson, and
Ron Harper, you got
Ron Harper, Derek Fisher, Corey, Big Shot Rob, like
brought all of them in. Nobody said a word.
No, and you know what I'm saying? Like, but the general manager and that management team did their job.
Yeah.
People like Kevin Garnett spent 10 years in Minnesota, couldn't do nothing. Kevin Love spent years in Minnesota, couldn't even get to the playoffs. Nope. Kyrie couldn't even get to the playoffs because his teams were so bad and the management
couldn't get anybody good to go play in Cleveland.
Like LeBron, like he did the most with the league for 7 years. And I feel like the only reason he was made a villain was because how he went about, making a move, like televising it. If he just would have said, I'm going to Miami, I felt like it wouldn't have been as much slack. He still would have been hated for it.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. That's the crux of it. Like people would just felt like, how dare you advertise it? But the thing is, I don't understand the vitriol with it because they do it when cats just announced they're going to colleges.
Yeah.
He did the same thing. He was like, well, people usually announce where they're going.
Yeah.
Y'all cool with it. Nobody says why you choose Alabama over Auburn. We hate you now. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like he gave people, first deal, like instead of us hearing it on Instagram or ESPN,
he controlled.
He was like, I'm gonna tell y'all from my mouth that
right.
This is what you ain't gotta sit here and guess from sources say that or Stephen Smith says that. Like he's telling you from his mouth. So I appreciated it, you know what I'm saying? But
I appreciate it because he did good. He was like, hey, if you guys really want to know, we're going to televise it. And the thing is, ESPN came to him like, yo, we want to do this. And he said, well, I'll do it if you donate $1 million from all the advertising to the Boys and Girls Club that we were in. So that
and they don't talk about that.
Who were hating on him. I'm like, dude, he gave $1 million to just say I'm going to Miami.
In Cleveland.
In
Cleveland when he did it.
In front of kids.
In Miami. He could have been in Miami doing it. But
he could have just been in Miami. Yeah.
But
I think it's narrative, more narrative than anything, because once LeBron started doing that and taking control, they said we got to make him look like a villain, because then if everybody else starts thinking like that, what's going to happen? The GM ain't going to have no control. But the thing is, like for years, like you said, KG played in Minnesota. Nobody wanted to play here. And I remember when KG made his first conference finals and they lost to the Lakers, and everybody was Malik Sealy. That was my man. I think they had I think they had what's his name? He's coaching with assistant coach with Sam Cassell.
Yep.
I think it was Sam Cassell, him, and they had Latrell Sprewell. They had
like Wally Zerbiak, too.
Yeah,
right up shooter.
The next year they were like, oh, Minnesota coming back. That means they have to pay people. The owner didn't want to pay people. And that let them know right then and there, they chose money, because they were like, we're going to keep KG, pay him a lot of money, and they just wanted you to come to the stadium. Because I one of my homeboys was like, he does journalism. He was like, owners make more money if they don't win the championship. You spend more money when you go farther in the playoffs because you got to keep spending money, travel, all that stuff. But if you just do the 82 games and you're in a small market and you can sell out every game and you got a big star, you're making money. Plus you get the NBA revenue. So there's no incentives really to go far. So Minnesota just said, we're not going to spend money. We're just going to keep KG. So LeBron changed that whole narrative. Like, yo, I'm not going to do this and let you guys decide how good I'm going to be. I'm going to decide, especially when I don't understand why we get to the pros and we change the mentality where, oh, you can't team up with people when all these dudes went to college and they played on teams that were recruited.
Yeah. They put that team together. I need it. You know,
they play AAU together.
They played AAU. They recruited the coach or whoever athletic director would recruit all the top players to play on the team. Kentucky does it every year, and ain't nobody saying.
They have a great squad every year.
Every year, they get all the top players on their team, and everybody's like, Kentucky's going to be a contender this year. But
like when you had like DeMarcus Cousins, Malik Monk,
Devin Booker,
AD, like you got all these people coming from this team. Come
all
on,
of them
bro.
in the league. But people were like, they're going to be formidable. Kentucky has done it again. But then they get to the pros and do it, and it's like, oh, you weak.
Yeah,
you need to win by yourself.
It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough to say. But with the moves they did make, like I don't really see nobody who got put over the top to go at the Nets or go at the Lakers. Like it was some good trades. Some people got stronger. Some people got tougher.
At them now, like
Kent Bazemore.
I don't like that.
Bazemore. Yeah, the Lakers made some moves, man. Like who they? Let me see where they at.
Like I
respect the Wayne Ellington.
Yeah,
I respect that
from 3. 40% from 3.
That's Wayne Ellington.
Monk 40% from 3. They don't talk about him being a scorer, a dude who can go out there and go get his own basket.
Yeah,
he can play above the rim and he can shoot.
Another Wildcat.
And he's
saying.
And the thing is, I think it's kind of a bias towards LeBron because when Brooklyn did this, everybody had a little bit of problem, but they were like, oh, Brooklyn's got all these great players on the bench and blah, blah, blah. LeBron does it, and it's like, oh.
He needs all this to win. Like, you do need help to win, bro. You can't win by yourself.
They're trying to downplay who was on the team. They're like, they're so old. Who's going to play defense? I was like, last year when they had a good defensive team, you told him, well, who's going to score? Nobody can shoot. So now he gets shooters. And everybody's like, but they don't play defense. But like, what?
It's always gonna be something.
Yeah, what team in this league has everybody that plays both sides of the ball? And everybody will say, well, Milwaukee. No, there's certain dudes on Milwaukee who play both sides of the ball. There's 3 of them: Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis. Everybody else is either a scorer. They play tough defense, but they're not a defensive stopper. Like,
but they lost their anchor too. They lost PJ Tucker.
And he in Miami. So
he went to Miami.
That's why I said Miami got tough.
Yeah,
Miami got tough. They got Kyle Lowry.
Scrappy.
You know what I'm saying? So they tough, But we picked up none. Like Lakers got none. I did like the way I like the way none played. Who else do we get?
Let's see.
Dwight Howard back.
Yeah. I didn't want him to leave in the first place. I felt like he was a key piece.
Yeah,
because that was a money thing because
exactly
he was on the veterans minimum, and
he needed.
I ain't mad at him. Go to DC, get your $9 million, and then come back to LA and get 5.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You still getting that back. You know what I'm saying? And like with he was a key piece when they got the title because they was going against Denver. Imagine Mark Gasol trying to guard Jokic.
Couldn't do it.
Nope.
He can't. He's too lead-footed.
Yeah,
and he's not athletic.
But he's more lead-footed than Jokic. But the thing is, Dwight was more physical, and he's still like people say they're old, but Dwight Howard
is in shape.
I'm 45 years old. Dwight Howard is 36. I remember when I was 36, I couldn't play ball like I was 26. Yeah. But these dudes ain't me. Like Dwight Howard don't look like a 36-year-old.
That's what I was just telling my cousin yesterday. He said the Lakers too old.
He played like Dwight Howard when he was 21. But he's 36-year-old Dwight Howard is a beast.
I said, go point out a 35-year-old or a 36-year-old out here right now just walking and ask yourself, does he look like LeBron James? Does he look like Dwight Howard? No, these dudes take care of their body, bro.
Yeah, man.
They play like they can still go out there and play with these younger guys if they're 25. They can go out there and play.
I think people are still on that whole mentality. You're old because back in the day, dudes didn't, like you said, didn't take care of themselves. Michael Jordan kind of ushered that in, like year-round maintenance of your body. That's why he was so dominant because other dudes were just taking the summer off. But now I look at LeBron. You see on the court, you see them against younger dudes, and you can tell the age difference.
You can tell.
When you see pictures of Melo and LeBron and all of them out there in the world, I'm like, them dudes is 36, and you acting like they old. Like they look like 30-year-old dudes. Like they in the best physical condition.
And at that age, it's IQ. You don't need to be.
You just play smarter.
And that's the thing. Ain't no young team ever won a championship. Like in the history of NBA basketball, unless it was the first year of the NBA.
Yeah.
Throughout, like when it really, really started getting competitive, it was veteran teams. Ain't no team of 20-year-olds ever won anything in the NBA because the dudes can still keep up with you. Yeah, you can run faster, jump higher, but they're going to get buckets and then they're going to post you up, score, and then they're going to run down the court and set up their defense, and you ain't going to run on them. So that's why everybody's saying, oh, they old. But I'm like, besides maybe, like you said, the Nets, and maybe I don't know if Phoenix is going to do it next year. Like, I think they were like Miami.
Me and Micah talked about that. This was their year to get it. It was the year for Paul to go out and get his ring, regardless of what anybody said about injuries.
Yeah.
LeBron and AD were hurt. Jamal Murray was hurt. Like Kawhi was hurt. Like, all these stars were gone. Hey, stuff happens. So you can only play who in front of you.
Yep.
Hey, the red carpet is out. Go get it. And he did what he always does. In key moments, he made key mistakes, or he always injured.
Yeah, and I'm looking. Lakers added Melo, Trevor Ariza. That's a good pickup because
I do like Ariza.
I was like, he was just with Miami playing defense, and y'all loved it. You know what I'm saying?
Defense.
They got Bazemore.
He's a champion. He's a champion also.
He's a champion.
He played with Kobe.
He won that ring in what, 2010?
Yeah, when he was a kid, he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what? He know how to win.
He can play some defense. You got Bazemore who could always play defense, and he can hit some threes, left-handed.
He can.
And plus, he's gonna be open more now. Like the other team, because he was just playing with Golden State, and people were like, Kent Bazemore is such a veteran, positive effect on these young dudes. So you telling me he can be wide open hitting threes with LeBron and all of them cats? There's Wayne Ellington. He could always shoot.
Yeah.
Howard, of course, for the physicality, Monk and Nunn. And that's the youth right there. Like
Horton Tucker. Don't forget about Horton Tucker.
Horton Tucker,
that's the one who they
ball player.
Kept. So
I was just praying he stayed. I was like, that's a key piece.
That's your youth right there. You don't need a team.
He's 21, bro.
Yeah. They looking at him like, yo, just play through this. You're gonna get numbers. You're gonna get minutes. You might not get 20 minutes. But you're gonna learn from this. And when these dudes are gone, it's gonna be your turn. And that's where Kuzma never could figure it out because that's what they're trying to do. They're like, yo, just play your part in this situation. Because when time comes, you're gonna realize how much you learned. And then when you get it all to yourself, you're going to be a beast. But he could never figure that out.
Yeah, he could.
He was just so caught up in trying to be a star. It's like, just play. And I think Horton Tucker, he just wants to play. And like he's only 21, so
I can tell he was hungry. He was hungry, bro. He wanted Kuzma's spot, and he got it.
Yeah, because you can see it. Like he's looking at it like Kuzma's listening to the media saying, "Oh, LeBron traded away all the young talent. The Lakers suck. I don't care, Brandon, what's his name? Ingram and Lonzo. I like them, but y'all wasn't winning nothing because you're in Pelicans now and you still ain't winning nothing. So what did LeBron lose?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
And look what he gained after that.
Right, and they won a championship. And Horton Tucker's looking at it like, I'm going to stay here and play with these guys, and then when they're gone, I'm going to take over. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And people got to look at it. They keep saying, "Oh, the Lakers old," but I'm like, look who they got left. Like AD is 26.
Yeah. The main guy behind you
is 26 years old.
26.
Yep.
LeBron is 36, 37, but
like Brooklyn has KD 32, James Harden 32, Kyrie Irving 29, about to be 30. Yep. Like Blake is an old 32. He plays like he's 39.
32.
Blake low key is older than LeBron.
Yes.
And he's younger than. Like you look at Blake play, like them knee injuries ain't no joke. But LeBron physically is still better than him. He could play. LeBron's playing 30-something minutes a game. He can't do that.
Mm-hmm. But the thing about LeBron also is his IQ is, and he takes care of his body even when he plays. Like he doesn't, do extra movement. He knows where he wants to go.
And he goes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're young and you're fast, you could jump higher, but I've got old man strength. Like, I
That's
put my
different.
shoulder in you going to the hoop, and you falling off of me because you don't have the same strength I got. Yeah, you can jump higher, but where are you going to get the chance to jump higher all the time? You're not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of,
So,
like,
yeah.
the Brooklyn Nets, they really ain't do much. Like, they really and truly, based on where the team was and where they're at now, they got James Harden and all them, but the guys who really put the Nets on the map, so Kyrie and KD will want to be there, they're all gone. I think Spencer Dinwiddie, he's going to the Wizards, right?
Jared Allen. Like,
why?
Jared Allen just resigned with Cleveland.
That was your interior defense, bro. You have nobody who's going to stop AD.
Yeah.
Nobody who can stop Jokic.
Yeah,
nobody who can stop Embiid.
No, they don't.
Bro, no, you probably can't even stop DeAndre Ayton.
They can't.
Yep.
That's because you look. KD was playing in the Olympics. KD was playing center, and that's what they said. We put KD at the 5. I'm like, he ain't built for that on the regular, man. Because now it works when all the other teams put small dudes down there. Ain't nobody gonna be physical. But that's why the Lakers were beating up on people. They were like,
they were bigger and they were stronger than you.
A true center, and you guys can worry about all that jump shooting you want. But in the playoffs, as we've seen last series, the Bucks and the Suns were some of the better 3-point shooting teams. And when it all came down to it, Cats wasn't hitting no threes. It was Giannis going straight to the hole, bullying people.
When that pressure on.
And then Devin Booker and Chris Paul were just mid-range. Yeah. So now, the analytics say, the 3-point shot, and then, everybody making a big deal. But I'm like, people have been winning championships without the 3-point shots for 50 years, bro. You telling me all of a sudden now you can't win if you don't shoot over 40% from the 3-point line?
Yeah.
That's regular season, man. Like, and the players, when your legs, and like Corey said, that your nuts get tight and your legs get tired, they ain't hitting threes like that.
Yeah.
When that size wins in the playoffs also.
Size and
size.
Yeah, that's it.
You undersized, bro, is going to get out-rebounded. And if they say defense, the more opportunities you give your team to score, which is rebounds. When you can get them rebounds and them second chance points, that sways the pendulum. So it's like, okay, y'all hit a few shots, but they keep getting these second chance opportunities that's putting them in the game and keeping it close. And then now you losing your momentum, bro. So that you got size, I'm always tend to go with size when it comes to the playoffs and them game 7 and championships games, bro. When you're bigger and stronger.
And that's what it is. It's like the Lakers proved it. Like in the small ball era, they won with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard at center. And all they did and people say, well, they were in the bubble. Like, dude, they were doing it all year long.
Yeah.
At the bubble. Bubble is still basketball. Stop making excuses. Yeah. They were just pick and rolling. Their guys were bigger than the other team centers because they were really centers. And they would just physically move them out the way, grab rebounds, dunk, block shots.
And I felt like that bubble, that whole experience was like, for some people did shine in the bubble.
Yeah.
Who we don't see today. Where's TJ Warren at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was just that was an anomaly.
That was crazy.
I mean, but that happens even in a regular season.
He would have did that. He was due for one. Like I said, everybody's due for one game where you're just special.
Yeah.
But imagine for the first time in your NBA career, especially for the people who've been playing in the league 10 plus years.
Yeah.
To go from a static area, people yelling, you used to this environment, to go to damn screens and all you see is your teammates. Like, imagine how mentally challenging that could possibly be.
Yeah.
To just, you like, man, this ain't even the same. So mentally, you gotta like tap into another type of.
And that shows you how great you are. Like, there's some people who can just play ball, and no matter who's there, they're gonna play great. They're gonna play with intensity. And there's some people that need the crowd to make them feel like they want to play. And that's why the Lakers and that's why Miami and all of them won, because they just wanted to play ball.
And then Miami has some young guys. This they first playoff run, so it's like
they happy, like they fresh.
Hungry,
he like, hey, I'm here. I'm not used to this anyways. So,
so let's just go win. You know what I mean?
But then we saw how they really played this year too, though. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Hero, he didn't
undersized.
Well, they were undersized, and also now you're hunted. That's another part of it. Like last year,
they was putting him up there. They was putting him on that. Like, he is.
Cats really didn't know what he could do. Like they knew he was good, but now they see what he could do. And then coming in this season, they're like, okay, we know what you can do and what you can't do. And
We on your head. We on your head now.
Yeah.
Every game.
Waco call. It was just a Waco call. He gonna be fine. He gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm. So what you think about Chicago? Chicago's
they made some good moves
with their moves.
That Lonzo with Levine.
Mm-hmm.
And who else they pick up?
They got DeMar.
Mark DeRozan, yes.
DeMar DeRozan, yep.
DeMar.
And
they got Lonzo, and then I think they already had Vucevic. They had already traded.
Yeah, they had Vucevic.
Yeah, they got Vucevic already.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's nice because he was balling in Orlando.
Yeah,
that's a true big man.
He's an all-star. He was an all-star.
Yeah. He can shoot the three. He's the new age center. He can go down low and give you buckets, grab rebounds, block shots. Plus, he can go out and hit. I think he shoots like 30-some% from three.
Him and Jokic they cut from the same cloth.
That, like Shaq says, them Vitches can shoot, man.
Anybody named with a Vitch?
With a Vitch.
Bogdanovic.
Don't leave him open.
Yeah.
I should have changed my name to Corey Jonesovich or something. I'd probably be in the league. You know what I'm saying? I'd be in the league right now.
Jonesovich.
Corey Jonesovich for three. Like, hey, he hitting them.
You got Germany.
And I got to get traded.
That would have threw people off.
I got to get traded to Atlanta, though.
Yeah, what's the name? Yeah, Chicago got a good team, man. They still got Laurie Markin, and they kind of figured. I think they might end up trading him because he's looking for like $20 million a year, and there's no way you can pay him more than you can pay DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, especially when he's been hurt and he ain't really been carrying the team. So I think he go in the way of who is it, like Dennis Schroeder and those dudes. They pricing themselves out.
Yeah, that's what they doing. Because Dennis, he wants that $100 million contract. But what did you do in this playoffs? That's what's going like. I didn't see nothing.
But people don't understand. When you get them big deals, it's because of what you did in the playoffs.
It's not like, the regular season, bro.
The regular season. Yep. If you did it in the regular season and then you didn't go to the playoffs, you might could get that number. But if you go into the playoffs and they see you, they're like, yo, I got to see what you do in the playoffs to really, like, you getting 20 mil means you putting in something to this team. When the playoffs came, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, not nothing. And then you looking at, they just put out a list where they just showed the only select players to ever get a $200 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Look at every one of them on the list.
Yeah, you ain't one of them.
And they had a special playoff performance or run that sanctioned them to get a $200 million plus contract.
Yes,
look at Trey. Trey just got it.
Trey got it.
So
half
that's
of
$200 million. He's 22.
He got to the conference finals in what is this? His fourth year?
Fourth year.
Yeah, fourth year.
You see that? You're like, yo, he's that deal.
He's special.
By himself.
This was his first time.
Yep.
And I like what Collins did. Collins earned a good contract this year. He was
what was it?
Let me see.
150.
150
or 150 or 125. First he wanted 175.
That was too much.
Somehow they talked him down. Yeah, that was too much.
That was too much.
But they talked him down.
You can't get $1. I mean, I love the numbers. I ain't gonna stop nobody from getting the bag.
I love him. Like, if he keep working on his game, he can end up being that guy.
I think the way the money works now in the NBA, that even though a lot of it is stat based, if you do this, you get this much. I think it still should be relegated to you got to be the cream of the crop to get anything above 150.
Yeah, you have to.
You just can't have a solid year and then say, I need $150.
It has to be shown repetitively.
You got to be all-star. You got to be perennial, all NBA something. You got to be somebody.
He's not an all-star. He's not an all-star. Trey is an all-star. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You haven't accomplished the feats he's accomplished. Like, you had a good, like, don't get me wrong, like, you explosive, you exciting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You signed a lot of dudes during this run. He signed Embiid. Who else?
Put him on a shirt.
He done did a lot of people dirty.
Yeah,
this run.
He alley when people had
on the backboard.
Just keep doing it, and you're gonna get that 150 plus. Keep doing that, and you're gonna get 150 plus.
Yep,
easy.
So they lost Chris Dunn. The Hawks lost Chris Dunn. Yeah,
we didn't do too much. We didn't need too much.
I didn't realize he was in the league, to be honest. And
that's true.
I didn't either until I saw him in
Georgie Dang.
Yeah.
The big man.
They brought in Gorgie Jang.
Size, yep.
Yep.
Brought in who was this? One more player. Wright. DeLon Wright. Came from I think Mavericks. I think he wasn't on the team last year, but he's a solid point.
Yeah, he was on the Kings.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't need too much.
No,
I'm glad they didn't do an overhaul. That's what I was worried about.
Nah, because you still got what's the name coming back, Cam Reddish. That's like
okay, yeah.
And he looked good.
He a key component. He
looked good
Defense,
compared to his first couple of years coming back in the playoffs. He looked like I'm getting.
He looked like I'm an NBA player, bro. Like,
because
he still looked like he wanted to go back to Duke.
Yeah, like
when I was saying,
he wasn't ready. He looked like he was playing. He was trying things like that spin move that they kept dissing him on inside the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of stuff you do where you're just like, I got to get open. But like he came back in the playoffs, and I was like, all right, he looked like he got it now. He's like, what, 6'8"?
Mm-hmm. 6'8". They actually said he grew. They said he grew to 6'10".
Yeah, because he looked taller. Because they saying
he was standing he's about 6'10" now. Because I think they showed a picture of him standing next to Gallinari.
Yeah,
and Gallinari like 6'9", right?
6'10". He's
6'10", 6'11", yeah.
And he has, I think, a 7'4" wingspan.
Hey man, I'm gonna get some flowers to Gallinari, man. Shout out to Gallinari for this amazing playoff run.
That goes back to what we were talking about with IQ. Gallinari's not the fastest. Mm-hmm. He just posts up and just stop me. And he knows the technicalities of the game.
And he knows who he is. He's not trying to take you off the dribble, but he knows you may be faster than me, but I'm bigger than you, and I can get my shot off, and you don't know. And other thing too is like if you put him in post, a lot of dudes don't know how to play post defense.
Yes,
he'll just be leaning on him, and he'll just fade away, and they're like, "Oh, what do I do?" I'm like,
"Hey man, hey,
are you scouting this dude? You got to know when he's in the post, he likes to fade away.
He loves it.
He's on the right side, he's going to fade away over his right shoulder. He's on the left side. Fake. Yeah, he's going to fake, and then he's going to drive left and try to put a foul on the left block. So it's like a lot of dudes, but he's smarter than them. Mm-hmm. Yes, Atlanta made some good moves. The Clippers,
they're pretty much the same, right?
Yeah, they just re-signed.
It's pretty much the same core.
Reggie,
was it 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. Was it 2 or 3 years? I think it was it's 2 years.
Reggie.
Yeah.
I don't see them. I don't see them going far. That championship run they had is
no Kawhi this year.
Yeah. It just seemed like the same team. I don't know. I think they need a true point.
Well,
I still don't think Reggie.
Well, here's the thing. Didn't they bring in Rondo? So it's like, why did you bring Rondo in? Like that's
they're not utilizing him at all. I'm
like Rondo was with the Lakers and he looked phenomenal.
Rondo the main reason why Lakers got a ring.
Yeah. Yep. And then
when he was coming in hitting those big threes and man,
Dwight,
he didn't even play with
IQ.
He didn't even play with the Clippers in the playoffs. Like there'll be games I'm like, where's Rondo? And they didn't even have him in the game. So I'm like, why did you guys bring him in if he's not going to be on the court? And I think it's because, like, on the Lakers, what they said was Rondo would tell people about themselves, like, you ain't doing right.
Yeah.
On the Clippers, it ain't the same mentality.
Yeah.
Because I saw him a couple times, he got mad at Kawhi and
I saw that.
He ain't play.
Yeah.
So it's like, so is it
they
like
don't deserve Rondo, bro.
Yeah, I hope he
between him and LeBron, bro, I feel like they like two of the highest IQs in the NBA. So if you ain't gonna listen to Rondo, I don't know how much I can trust your organization, bro, because this man already had a ring.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He got a ring for all y'all did. So obviously he knows what it takes to win.
And he was a point guard on that team. It's not like
he was a true point guard. He was
running the point with the big three. He was telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Go here.
He was a weapon. He was a threat.
Yeah, and after they left, he was still trying to keep the Celtics relevant by himself.
By himself.
Yep.
So if you can't trust that guy's, you know what I'm saying, logic on how to win, you're not gonna win, and it shows.
Yeah.
You ain't even utilize him, but I feel the same way for Frank Vogel, or however they run in the organization. Like, how do you sign Montrezl Harrell, right? 6th man of the year.
And
I didn't see him not one. I'm like, where's Montrezl Harrell?
They had too many big men. They had Gasol, I think Gasol, him.
But Montrezl is supposed to be the small. If they're going to
power forward
and have, you're supposed to put Montrezl in, but then the whole analytics, he don't shoot. But my thing is, he play hard
play hard, bro. He got a motor.
He make it tough on the other team.
Because you got to play physically.
You got to play him because he's always moving. He's always doing. I hope in Washington, like maybe him going to the Wizards, that's going to allow him, because with the Clippers he was doing.
He
got bottled in because before Paul George and they came, it was Montrez and all of them, Pat Beverly going hard.
Right.
And then once the superstars came in, they kind of backed off. So maybe now in Washington, he'll get the opportunity to just be Montrez. I always liked his game, his energy.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Did we keep Lou Williams?
Yeah, Lou resigned. Lou resigned 1 year. I think it's a 1 year deal. I think it's like, I want to say
we have him on the Udonis contract.
Yeah,
you gotta have lemon pepper. You gotta have him.
You gotta have lemon pepper in Atlanta. Like if you
lemon Lou
in Atlanta, what you doing?
Yeah, you gotta have.
It's synonymous for lemon pepper, baby. Come on,
lemon Lou, man.
I think a season ticket holder told me they're about to put something with his name in the menu at the arena or something like that.
Oh yeah,
like it's a thing now.
He got to. Why not?
I mean, Magic City already got it, so the Hawks can do something too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, I love Lou Williams, man.
I remember watching him when I first came to Atlanta. I was working like as a grip, and he was in like the high school basketball tournament. It was up in Gwinnett County out here.
Yeah, he was a beast.
And I forgot the other dude on the team with him. He ended up going to Georgia. They were like the two best players. And I remember seeing Lou, and I was like, he looked different compared to all the other dudes playing, because they were like, yo, he going straight to the pros. And like he was scoring so easy back then in high school. Like,
yeah, he was. It wasn't fair.
And he was just like layup, jump shot. He looked like a man amongst boys. But when he went to the league and you realize he was still a young boy, but playing against high school dudes, like
it was too easy.
He was doing whatever he wanted.
Yeah. And that ain't fair. Game. So you got to get out of there, bro. You got to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Crafty.
Yeah. So who else are you thinking about, Mike?
I'm trying to think of the West Coast.
The Clippers did their thing, doing all right.
I feel like Golden State should have did something with Ben though.
I think there's still opportunity.
They should,
but I don't know if for what people saying that they have to give up. I don't know.
I mean, because they're thinking about the future. I'm
they
like, hey, bro,
why
at this point, you talking about a 32-year-old Steph, 32-year-old Draymond.
Yep.
31-year-old Clay. Like, bro, you got to win now, because look, Clay just came off of ACL.
ACL
both
and
knees. Both knees.
Why are you thinking about the future, bro? His future has just got cut by like 2 years.
Yep.
So
him coming back this year ain't a guarantee he's gonna be as nice.
It ain't even a guarantee. He may not even play.
He could get hurt
because people always say, KD was the best player, Steph was the best or the most important. I felt like it was always Clay, because he's the only one playing both sides of the floor on the best player, which is most time not just the forward or the guard. He has to play those positions. They ask a lot of
them,
They ask a lot of Clay, and he has to be 40% from three, along with keeping this guy, under 35% from the field. That's a lot to ask from a guy. You didn't ask Steph to do that.
No, you don't.
You know what I'm saying? That's Draymond's job defensively, but he playing the 4, sometimes the 5.
Yeah.
Somebody else got to step up to guard the perimeter.
But I hear that's what people were saying. Like with they were thinking get rid of Draymond in the trade to get Ben. But I don't think
lose your culture.
Yeah, that's true. Golden State ain't gonna do that.
You lose the whole motor, bro. You lose the whole motor.
Ain't gonna allow that. They're like,
that's the transmission of the Golden State car, bro. You take Draymond out, your car don't work.
Like me personally, I don't care about people staying in one place at one time. But if you have the opportunity to play with Steph and Clay and Draymond, where else you need to go?
Take it.
You don't need to go anywhere else. That's what you're looking for. That's why you go to other places. You're looking to play with players like that. So they're not going to let go of Draymond, because they know if they do that, Clay and Steph ain't going to be happy.
Not at all.
So and then you go against everything you said, because you were like, we're homegrown, we grew these, we're sticking with them, we're not trading them for anybody. So to do it now would be bad karma. I honestly think if you do that, it won't work out with Ben Simmons. The only way you can do is if you bring Ben Simmons in now, but it's almost redundant with him and Draymond.
Yeah.
But
to have both of them, you know what I'm saying? Like defensively, your team defense goes up, and they do got some young guys.
They brought back Iguodala too.
Yeah, and they brought
Yes.
back Iggy.
They
Yes.
brought back
You know,
Iggy.
the Finals MVP.
First of all,
That's
LeBron
it.
made a man final. He made 2 dudes final MVP for just holding him to 38 points.
I never understood that.
Like Kawhi did it. Kawhi scored averaged 14 points in the game, but because when he played LeBron didn't score at a higher clip, you made him the MVP.
I don't understand how they grade, you know, MVPs. You know, I feel like, bro, if you go out every game and you show out statistically and you did everything you could and still lose, that's a Finals MVP. That man did things, even though y'all won. This guy did things in all his power on another level, exponentially.
But in the past, that's how it used to be. I think Jerry West was the last person to do that. The Lakers lost to the Celtics, but Jerry West got the MVP.
He was the last one.
The most points. LeBron did it
He
how many
got
times, but
MVP.
it's just now they can't give it to the guy who loses. They have to give it to somebody who won. But I'm like, that's not what it's about.
On the winning team.
Who's the best?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good.
They turned that man to the logo.
Yeah. So what y'all think? I had the question asked by Giannis and the Bucks winning. Like the whole narrative now is Giannis did it the hard way. He didn't. He lost.
He didn't, bro.
His
management did their job.
Right.
They went and got key pieces to complement Giannis, to complement, you know what I'm saying? They go and get PJ Tucker from Houston. You know what I'm saying? They get Drew from New Orleans.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They
did what they were supposed to do.
Bobby. Man. Shout out to Bobby, man. I was giving him hell the whole run, but shout out to Bobby.
Both of us were,
and then they drafted well. They drafted well too.
But that's what you're
supposed to do. The play only leaves when your team ain't doing the job. So to say like Giannis did something special, like people were saying if they didn't, I mean, plus he's from a different culture too. Like you know what I'm saying, European culture, African culture. Like he's looking at it like coming from where I came from. Milwaukee took a chance on me. Nobody else cared to. So he's going to be loyal because that's how it is in European culture. Like, if you take a chance on me and I'm staying with you.
Yeah, loyalty. Yeah.
But and they also kept investing in him. Like, they were like, okay, how can we help Giannis? And like you said, some of these owners ain't thinking about it. They like, bro, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to lose too much money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why LeBron and the Cavs owner never got along. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because like LeBron said, first of all, they were in Cleveland. Like nobody, even
nobody's
if
coming to Cleveland.
Nobody wanted to go live in Cleveland. Like LeBron was there. He's the best player in the league, and he couldn't. Nobody. And people would tell you straight up, I like LeBron, but I can't live. But now he in LA. All you see,
everybody
trying to go.
He's in Miami.
And with Miami, everybody was coming.
Everybody's signing up for the veterans minimum. They're like, I already made $80 million in my career. Let me go get a chip.
Yeah, and then I bounce after that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll bounce after that. Or even if I win the chip, the next year I can get a deal with somebody else for another $10 million.
Or, for example, LaMarcus Aldridge.
So did y'all see? Oh, go ahead.
Now, LaMarcus Aldridge, he's coming back.
Yeah.
You know, he said he was done. Now he see the Lakers. He like, I'm about to do that too.
Yeah, he's coming out of retirement.
He's thinking about it. Yeah, he's thinking about coming out of retirement just to play with the Nets or the Lakers.
I could come back and be a power forward.
He gonna go back to the Nets, bro.
Nah, he's saying the Lakers.
Oh, he's saying Lakers?
Yeah. It was at first it was either or, but he's leaning more to the Lakers.
Yeah. Because
it may be the smarter move for him though.
The Lakers is a smarter move because with Golden State, not Golden State, excuse me, with Brooklyn, what I've realized and what I saw, it's just the three of them.
Exactly. Yeah. It'll be a lot on him because they're gonna be like, okay, if KD ain't going, hey Aldridge, we need you to go. Yeah. They ain't gonna ask him of that over there.
He would clog the lane too. He would be in the way essentially.
That's true. But also in Brooklyn, the offense, like when you look at the Nets play, it's literally KD, Kyrie, and James Harden.
ISO.
And
it's like beat me 1-on-1.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing, and that's why. And then people say, well, if they didn't get hurt, they would have won. I was like, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah, they were up. They were up. What was it? They were only up when Kyrie got hurt.
Yeah, they was up 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was up a game. Only a game.
Yeah.
Only a game, and it would have still been tied. It's not like they were beating them. You did what you did at home, and they were going to do what they did at home. Yeah. But the thing is, in the playoffs, the rest of his team, once Kyrie and them went down, the rest of your bench, they folded because they were just complementary parts.
Because they knew that, okay, we got Kyrie, and then we just go in and do our little thing.
Right.
They see them two guys fall, they like, they started worrying. Pressure got too big for them.
Yeah,
and Giannis and them wanted.
You didn't develop them to be part of the infrastructure. You just told them you just be here to grab the scrap. At least in LA,
stand there.
LeBron and them gonna be like, we got LaMarcus Aldridge. Look what they did for Marc Gasol when he would come in with the second unit. Run the offense through Mark. Him involved.
Yep. Yeah, because he was a number one option in Toronto.
Right.
He knows what to do.
Yeah, so you bring LaMarcus there, they're gonna be the one that's, if he was there on the second unit, they'd be like, run some stuff through him.
He's just gonna do fadeaways the entire time. Do what he does.
Free throw line jumpers. Go ahead, Corey.
So did y'all see what Charles Barkley said, right? About time back to, he's saying how he respect Giannis because like time back to what we said, he said he got it the hard way, right? So I'm like, okay, I did research. I'm not from that area. So
I'm from that area. I know he
gets drafted. He gets drafted to the Sixers.
Yep.
Did the Sixers not just win a championship prior to him coming there? Well, like 2 years prior?
The one and only championship. The greatest team ever.
You get drafted to Dr. J. And who is it? Moses Malone?
Dr. J. Moses Malone, Maurice Cheeks,
Mo Cheeks.
Andrew
Hall
Turner.
of Famer.
Was Dawkins there too?
No, Dawkins, I think he was.
Daryl went there.
He got traded by then, right?
Yeah, he was off the team. I think he might have. Yeah, he was going by then.
Okay.
But that was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mo Cheeks. Yeah, he did have Mo Cheeks.
Was the starting point. I remember I used to watch them games, man.
Okay.
I watched the Celtics and the Lakers and the Sixers.
You see what I'm saying?
So were tough.
He was blessed and fortunate to go to a great organization.
Yep.
Okay. So after that, they had some good year, but they never got to that title.
Once it was all on him, couldn't do it.
It was over. Okay. Where'd he go after that, right? He goes to Phoenix. Now Phoenix, 50-win team. Easily the last 4 years. KJ. You know what I'm saying? Kevin was a monster in himself.
One of the best point guards in the league.
Couldn't get it done. But you had all-stars around you, bro.
Right.
Every team you went to, you had all-stars. So don't tell me.
And the thing was, Charles Barkley, when he first, like if you looked at old episodes of Inside the NBA, he would complain that playing with the 76ers, they had me playing with bums. I had to get out of there. My theory behind why all these dudes, my generation and back, anybody that grew up with Michael Jordan in his prime, when you were around, you probably like maybe 14 years old to 20 something. So he kind of like, he was because I know for me, Michael Jordan I would play ball. I tried to play. I was like 5'9", but I tried to play like Jordan. Yeah. He gave me confidence, gave you a swag.
Yeah.
The thing is, a lot of these players who play with Jordan, they're quick to say, "Oh, Jordan, he was so great," because what they want to do is, and this is just my thinking, because he sunned them, because he used to embarrass, like he ran 6 off, right? If you run 6 off, how tough was the competition? Right. Because people say the same thing about when Bill Russell did it. Competition was not good. Jordan came back, came back, and won 3 more, right?
Yeah, the 2, 3
he ran 6 off against some of the supposedly the golden era of
the big man. Yep.
And he ran, the Bulls ran through them. And these dudes tell stories like, Jordan would intimidate people. Like, if you don't say nothing to Michael Jordan, he might go off and hit 40 or 50. Like, we leave him alone, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of these dudes were intimidated by him. But they like to talk like, we were tough in this era. These guys couldn't play. Like, you guys were scared of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward, they're changing the narrative so people don't say like, oh, it was so tough. If he beat us, it's because he was so great. No.
Yeah.
You weren't that good. You guys were intimidated by Jordan. He was physically more gifted than you. He was in better shape.
Yeah.
Because you watch some of the highlights, he walked by people.
I looked at some of those old that game where he dropped 63 on Bird in them. Like, I'm looking at him, Robert Parrish and all these guys. I'm like, bro,
I was watching that game live.
He's stronger than you. Like, y'all had no chance. When he got to lead, nobody had a chance.
Danny Ainge was their shooting guard. He was guarding Michael. Like, I was watching the game live back then. What channel was it? It was called Sports Channel in New England. That's who had the Celtics game. And I remember watching the game, and Jordan was just cooking them. The rest of the team was garbage.
Yeah.
But he was cooking. Larry Bird, nobody had the foot speed to stay with him.
Exactly.
You
And
know
that's what it's about. It's about evolving and getting better. He was a disruptor then, because like people don't like the disruptor, but then in the end, when it's all said and done, you're gonna have to give him respect. Like I used to argue with people about, well, not argue, kind of just go back and forth. Like when we talk about people like Steph and KD, right?
It was an argument.
Like,
it was an argument.
Yeah. So like me personally, when KD is a 1 in a million, bro. Like it's rare you'll see a 7 foot.
That's a 2K player design right there.
Exactly. But he didn't do anything that came in and disrupted the league. Steph came in the game, bro. He got LeBron shooting logo threes, bro.
Yeah.
Because he's coming in, and as soon as he crossed half court, that's a disruptor, bro.
Yeah.
Jordan in that time was a disruptor. They never seen nobody play like that.
Mm-hmm.
They never seen nobody play in the air like he did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the closest thing was probably David Thompson and Julius Erving. Those guys was the only one playing in the air like that, but they couldn't shoot or score.
That's what it was.
They couldn't. They had no mid-range game.
Dr. J could only dribble with his right.
Yeah.
And David Thompson was only 6'2".
Yeah.
He wasn't tall.
He just played above the rim a lot.
He played above the rim, but Michael Jordan was 6'6".
6'6", cut like a fool.
But the thing is, after the Pistons started beating him up, that's when he got Tim Grover, his trainer. Yeah. And then he came back brolic, and everybody was like, "Wait a minute, what?"
Yeah, he came back a little bigger. That little.
Who? Like I tell people back in the day, like when I argue Jordan and whatever, because I don't believe there's one great player. I just believe he's the great player of his era.
Yeah.
Right.
Say he's the greatest basketball player of all time. Then we need to stop playing basketball. But what's the name?
At this point, yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan back then, once Jordan became Jordan, where he was getting himself together physically and game wise, I asked people, name me the top shooting guards back then. I know who they are. Tell me who was on Michael Jordan's level that you could say, oh, there was Clyde Drexler, and Michael ate him up. Clyde could only dribble with his right. He could only go right.
Mm-hmm.
It was Ron Harper.
Yeah.
Ron Harper was right behind Jordan. Then Ron Harper blew out his ACL. Changed his game forever.
Mm-hmm.
But you had Reggie Millers. You had the Mitch Richmonds.
Mm-hmm.
You had who? Like,
it's not a lot.
There wasn't a lot.
It was a big man era, so it was more power forwards and centers.
Shooting guards back then were just that. They were shooters.
They shot
and scored. Yeah. Jordan took it to the level where he was a scorer, and he was just with it.
He was almost positionless on the offensive end of the floor.
At one point, he was a point guard. He ran point for the Bulls. So he changed. Like, he was so much different than everybody else that there was nobody in the league who could literally stop him coming out from his rookie year. Yeah. Like I'm like, tell me who the great shooting guards were back then.
Like, the competition
competition wasn't good.
It wasn't. And you look at today's game, right? It's stacked.
Right. You got dudes who were there just for defense. Like you had Pistons had Rick Mahorn, all those dudes. They weren't there to score. They were there to be physical, grab rebounds, and that's it. Block shots. Yeah. Nowadays, you got dudes who have to do that. You have to be able to shoot jumpers, post moves, plus play.
They want you to be everything. They want you to be everything. Ideally, they want everybody on their team to be able to shoot.
But that's what basketball's supposed to be.
It's an evolving game.
80s, they had it where, like, you look at the Pacers, it was Reggie Miller and Chuck Person when I was coming up. That's Rick Smits, right? And everybody else was kind of like fit in where you fit in.
Right.
And Mark Jackson, right?
Yeah, Mark Jackson came back, and that's Mark Jackson came back when Larry Bird was the coach. Like initially before Bird, it was I forgot who was there.
Because he was on the Knicks. I think Mark Jackson.
Yeah, he was on the Knicks for a good minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you look at the Knicks too, people are like, oh, the defense of the Knicks. They were scoring 75, 80 points because Charles Oakley,
Ewing.
Ewing would give you 20. But besides that, there was nobody on the Knicks giving you 20 points.
No.
Nobody could. John Starks was a 13-point a game career scorer. You know what I'm saying?
He had
player.
some highlight moments, but other than that, he was
His highlight moment was he dunked on Horace Grant, and everybody said he dunked on Jordan because he was in the picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The league was not, let's be honest, it was competitive, but it wasn't as talented. It wasn't as the players who were back then, who were the big names, skill wise, didn't have the Davis brothers on the Pacers. They just were there for physicality.
Yeah.
They weren't there to score. Right?
Yep.
The Knicks had the goons, they had their squad, but that was physical. It was Patrick
Greg Anthony
and Greg Anthony and all of them chipping. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can tell me that the Bucks just won a championship after 50 years. They were terrible back in the 80s. They had Terry Cummings and Jack Sikma.
Yeah.
They had some good they were terrible back then too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who was good back then? Like, they acting like people was dominant. Miami Heat.
Like what? Moncrief or somebody? They're gonna say it's like Moncrief.
Oh man,
on that squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at it, it's been the same teams. It's been the Lakers, it's been the Celtics, the Bulls, and San Antonio came in and won some championships.
Those top dogs got old, bro. Like back then, 29, 28, that's old. Well, because they wasn't as in shape.
And they didn't have the same equipment. They didn't have trainers who were telling people stay off your knees. Like, and plus they were still partying. Like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, gambling, smoking.
He was gambling and smoking cigars.
Yeah. Every day.
After the championship.
And still won a championship.
Yeah, right back to it, yeah.
So how competitive was the league if the dude could do all this stuff and still win championships?
He did it with ease. That just shows you the competition
wasn't
it wasn't there.
You had
like today.
Teams, just like today. There's certain teams that you say these are the teams that are going to battle it out. It's been the same ever since, but everybody tries to romanticize it like everybody was vying for a championship when Jordan was playing. No, the Pistons and the Celtics and the 76ers won all the championship in the 80s, and the Lakers.
And then in the 90s, he was in the 80s, so it was championship that was won on Jordan's clock.
Right, and it was the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Pistons.
Yeah,
one, and Philadelphia got one in there. Right?
Yeah, they was winning. Everybody was winning. Jordan was there.
In the 90s, Jordan ran through and had six out of the 10 championships between 90 and 2000.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And then Elijah Wan got the other two.
Yep.
And who else got the other ones? I think it was San Antonio.
Yeah.
San Antonio.
That's when the San Antonio run
started coming in. Yeah. And then in 2000s, it was San Antonio, LA, Boston.
Yeah. Detroit.
And Detroit.
Yeah.
That was it. So it's not like we've seen a different sets of teams winning it. Like,
it was always those teams with those who went, got their key players, and then like Tim Duncan too. Like he came into a great organization, bro.
Yeah. David Robinson.
We on the tail end of David Robinson's prime, the Admiral.
And then
you know what I'm saying?
Popovich came in.
Spurs were terrible. Then you get Popovich,
right?
And here comes Tony Parker.
Yeah,
Manu Ginobili. Then you get Big
Bruce
Shot
Bowen.
Rob, Bruce Bowen, like
Mario Ellie came back over there too.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So Chuck, man.
But that's just what, like I said, these are dudes who played with Jordan and didn't win and couldn't win. And instead of saying, yo, I just wasn't that good, I'm going to put LeBron down because he didn't do it the hard way. Like, what hard way? Any team that won a championship had multiple stars, regardless if they got drafted. That's what the difference is. People think, oh, because they drafted him, I didn't go play with him. Like, well, how do you think any team, like if that was the case, then nobody's going to get traded. Nobody's going to be a free agent. You just stick with who you want. But if the team lets you go, they have to make the move. No, they should stay loyal. There should be a draft every 5 years because until the person retires, that's the only reason you're going to need a draft.
At this point.
You know what I'm saying? So, that Chuck statement, I was like, yo, man, shut up. I love you.
To add on that, Chuck also didn't he try to join in Houston with?
He did.
He tried the same thing.
They said that his excuse was, man, I was old. Everybody old ring chase. Nah, bro, you did it when you went to Phoenix.
Right.
If you really was about that life, you would have stayed in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's a hypocrite.
Because like you said, the GM and they were terrible.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to go play in Philadelphia because they didn't want to be with the administration. So if LeBron, KD, and them say, no, come play with me, Don't worry about the GM. The team's going to acquiesce and they're going to come correct, because if they don't, I'm out. That's what people don't realize. These players make sure that these teams stay on the ball, because a lot of these teams would get a good player here and there and be like, yeah, I don't want to pay for no more. I want to make money. Get me a star, and that's it. Just get me a star. We can make good money. If we win, we win. If we don't, we got a star. We're going to sell out.
Yeah.
It's a money-making endeavor. So when people say LeBron and all of them taking the easy way out, ain't no championship was ever won. And people trying to say, well, Giannis, he won it by himself. So you're telling me Chris Middleton is a bum?
He didn't save them a lot of games.
All-star.
Because you guys were saying Chris Middleton is the closer. So if he's the closer, how's he a bum?
Because then he just dropped 24 in a quarter against Atlanta that one game. He dropped
30.
40 in the game. And everybody was saying Chris Middleton needs to be the closer. He's an all-star. But when Giannis is, once the narrative needs, well, Giannis is the only superstar. Chris Middleton isn't no superstar.
He's an all-star.
No, man. He's a star in this league. He's one of the better players in the league. Just because his name recognition is not the same doesn't make him less of a great player.
It's a great team.
His journey was just different. That's all.
Everybody was looking like the Pistons didn't have any stars. Like they had Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Wallace,
Rip
Tayshaun
Hamilton,
Prince.
That's your starting five, bro.
Then you had a physical
Lindsey Hunter on the bench.
Antonio McDyess come off
the bench,
get physical, and he can shoot sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, come on.
They had Jason Maxfield too. They had
a squad
coming off the bench.
And let's not mention LeBron dropping that 48 special on him.
And when LeBron killed them by himself, he literally killed the team. Like,
who do you destroyed a dynasty?
Like who was on besides Ilgauskas, because he was the tallest nigga on the team?
Larry Hughes.
Right, Larry Hughes.
Eric Snow.
He was a solid player, but he wasn't
Mo Williams was the second best player he had that whole
team.
Mo Williams was not that. He's a role.
He got an all-star. He got an all-star voting just by playing with
LeBron. Yep.
Mm-hmm. They had Boobie Gibson.
Boobie Gibson became a house. He got married to what's her name because he played with LeBron.
He got paid because of LeBron.
Yeah,
because they thought he was a shooter.
Right.
After that, he got paid.
No, he was just wide open.
Yeah,
because of LeBron.
He couldn't get his own jumper off.
He couldn't get no. Like he was. That's the blessing of a great player. They make average players look great because they get to play one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a poorly put together team.
It was terrible.
Like that was bad.
And that's why when people say LeBron should have stayed, look at the teams that you put around me every year.
I'm not saying. You know what I'm saying?
Danielle Marshall.
Marshall. I'm like, come on, bro. That's somebody.
And he made them 60-win teams.
Every year, bro. Every year they 60 plus.
And then he's going against Orlando that had Dwight Howard. They had
Rashard Lewis.
Rayford
Austin.
Boston Celtics still at the time.
JJ had a young JJ.
JJ Redick
had no business being in the finals going again.
No business. And when he lost, how did he lose? He's dropping 38 a game and they're losing. It's LeBron with 38 and then everybody with 10.
Yeah.
If 10.
It probably was like 6.
He should have won
7, bro. Because you can't put that team against a pop coach team with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Bruce Bowen. Like, you had no chance. Everybody
knew that going in. I remember watching. They was like, "We don't expect the Cavs to win a game. We just hope they're competitive," and they were. But it was like LeBron against 5.
Yeah, when that third quarter came.
I remember that.
Third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I think that's just compared. Like, I'm one for I like the new school basketball because back in the 80s, I hated hand checking. When I used to play ball. And then the older dudes would play with you, and they grabbing your hip.
They put a hand in it. Like, bro,
that's a foul. He's like, "Hey, no foul. That's hand checking. That's legal in the NBA." I was like, "But that's not defense, dude. You literally can't.
You're just holding me. You're holding me.
They guide you around.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Because you can't touch me. So when I was younger and I used to play against old dudes who do that, I would just run down the court, rip Hamilton, Reggie Miller side, and just keep running. Yep. If I ain't had a ball and the dude just wanted to hold me, I didn't stand there to let him hold me. I just ran.
Yeah,
and I just kept moving. I get the ball, and I would just keep going. And then they couldn't. I was like, you can't play defense, so you got to hold me.
Yeah,
But that was the
I like
90s
that.
in a nutshell. There was like a lot of hand checking, and that's why Michael Jordan ran through the league afterwards. Once they took out hand checking and they said, okay, you're not going to just get a foul for taking a dude out the air. That's my thing with that era of basketball. Like, it was tougher. No, it wasn't. You were goons.
Yeah.
You were goons. Like, if you're willing to hurt me, just
Contracted goons. Yep.
You're contracted goons, bro. Like, you're not. It wasn't tougher basketball. It was
Mahorn.
Yeah.
It was less
Mahorn,
talented. Dudes just to negate me scoring because you couldn't stop me. You would just throw me to the ground and hope I get injured
And snatch me out there.
If you go look at the photos of like Jordan in the air,
yeah,
half of those dudes, they're not even going for the ball. Like, you see them with elbows up.
I'm like, he going in like this. I'm like,
straight in.
He had a 40-inch, 8-inch vertical. They couldn't jump with him.
Nobody could.
It was he dunked on Patrick Ewing how many times? How many times they showed that baseline on Patrick Ewing?
Oh, that spin. Oh,
That's
my
spin.
goodness.
Oh, man.
Like, and you look, he walked by everybody. Like, that spin move shouldn't have worked, bro.
It shouldn't have. It was too slow of a move.
It was unexpected. For the time, they just didn't see moves like that.
They didn't see moves like because nobody did that. So he was they weren't catching up, man. Now you got Joel Embiid doing the same thing on the baseline now. Like, Giannis doing it.
And then you see like somebody like Kyrie who'll do the little half spin and spin back. I understand that, but Jordan should have been able to go this way, look this way, and then go back, and you like,
and elevate to dunk. That's the thing. It's like most people do a layup with that move, but to come out and avert and just.
That's why Dominique back then was just killing people because Dominique was always a top scorer. Because he was just physically more gifted than these dudes. Jordan was the same way. I mean, I'm not going to knock who played. Whoever was a star in that era was a star, regardless of what era. But there were some dudes who were bigging up like they would the top whatever. No, the Knicks were good, but Patrick Ewing was the only talent on the team. Patrick Ewing, Mark Jackson, those dudes, they had talent. The other dudes was just Xavier McDaniel used to play with the Bulls. He was terrible. Yeah. Jordan played with him. They couldn't win nothing. He went to the Knicks and just became a goon.
Yeah,
he was willing to fight. He was willing to be physical. That was his job. That's what Pat Riley wanted. Pat Riley knew I didn't have as much talent, but I got physicality.
Yeah,
tougher.
Oakley too. Oakley.
Yeah, Oakley.
Oakley was in there, and that's Jordan's boy.
Yeah, that's his dog.
And hired goon. They hired him to be a goon.
He was a goon. He's still his best friend. He's his bodyguard now. They go out with
the only one Jordan can't punch in the mouth and can't expect to get hit back. You can hit Steve Kerr. Oakley would punch Jordan right in his mouth.
But the thing is, that's his best friend. So Oak was like, I ain't doing nothing to MJ.
Yeah.
That was his man. That's why, you know what I'm saying, when he left and went to the Knicks, that's why the rivalry was so tough. But you never noticed, Oak never knocked him out the air. That's his man.
Yeah, he said they would go to dinner.
They would go to dinner
after the game.
That's why when they say all these players fraternizing, but then they tell the stories, we was here playing poker. You know what I'm saying? Like, miss me with all that, man. Like, we're just trying to hold on to our era. This is what made us great. But in 10 years from now, when all of us are in our 50s and 60s, and your generation is now the ones who are on the media, the story's going to change.
It's going to change,
generation.
Corey and I do it now. To the little dudes we talk to. We talk to them like the game's different than when we played.
It's way different, man. Like, you got everybody who's supposed to have the skill now. Back then, centers were just centers. Now you got centers. The MVP of the league is a chubby dude
from dude.
Where you from?
Shoot,
Croatia. Is it
Croatia?
I thought Croatia or
it's one of those.
Because I know him and Bogdanovich are from the same place. Yeah, they're from the same country. I want to say Croatia.
I would have never.
Lithuania, one of those.
I would have never thought in a million years that he'll be an MVP.
Serbia.
My boss at work is from Serbia, and I remember they were talking about him. Yeah, but he's just skilled.
Nice. He's nice. He's their point, right? He run point.
He run point sometimes, yeah.
He run point center, and he's handled.
Like Jamal is just a shooting. It's just they got two guards.
Yeah, Jamal is more of the scoring guard.
Yeah,
he's the
for him to come off ball. Yeah. And Jokic initiates the plays is crazy to see how the game changes.
Scary though, man. That's a scary duo
but he can shoot threes, bro.
He can shoot threes. Like he ain't got to make the pass. Like he can look. He don't see nothing. He gonna pull
and jump.
his post game is ridiculous.
It's immaculate. Yeah.
Like I'll be watching his post game and I'll be like, oh, he making y'all look stupid.
Yeah.
He's that dude at the YMCA. You can't stop.
I played against them dudes, bro. They used to embarrass the hell out of me. I remember when I was 14, this little white dude, right? He was a dentist, right? He looked like John Stockton, but when Jock Stockton was in the league, but he was 45 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be like, he ran like Stockton. And I remember when I was young, I was like 14, 15. I was like, yo, I'm going to eat him up. Got out on the court, and he just pick and rolled me to death. Like they played together, and he was hitting jumpers. He would catch me with the pump fake because now I want to jump and block the shit out of his shot. And he would up fake layup. After that, one day I would always play against him. One day we happened to play on the same team, and we started talking. He was like, "Oh, you're phenomenal." Blah, blah. I was like, "Dude, I hate you because why are you so good?" And he told me, man, like, yeah, you guys are young and can jump, but you can't jump and run everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to stop us, and your speed and your jumping ain't going to help you stop us.
Yep, it's all up here.
Yeah, we know how to run plays and everything. And after that, I was like, oh, I get it. So that's why when they say what they're saying now, like you got to have brains to play basketball because we have plenty of dudes who got jumping ability and all that, and who can run real fast, and they haven't won a damn thing in this league.
Exactly.
Very true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. What you know and how you can get it done, man.
Yep.
All right, fellas, we're at that point. We said for 45 minutes, but the conversation was too good. We're at about $1.50. $1.50.
That's great content. That's great content.
That's great content. But we got to do this again, so we can.
For sure.
I just like to thank our guest, Mr. Corey Jones, aka Fresco.
Appreciate it. Anytime, bro. Y'all want to, send me that link. I'll hop right back on.
We're happy with doing that, man. You know what I'm saying? Once again, tell them where they can reach you.
You can reach me at Brthrs Clothing on Instagram. Brthrs Clothing LLC on Instagram. You can go to my website, brthrsclothing.com. And on Facebook as well. If you shop through the marketplace, I think we got a shop set up on there as well. So, hey, you need some new clothing, new gear, get at me.
Definite. And Micah, thank you again, brother, for jumping aboard and going to be my co-host. We got big things planned for us.
Oh yeah.
Like Corey said, we're gonna take this as more than a hobby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I apologize to the few fans that we have out there. A lot of people were like, "Lynn, what happened?" I was in a car accident in January. I did the first podcast, and I was like, "I can do it," but sitting down with bulging disc in my neck and my mid back and my lower back, it wasn't a deal. So I had to.
Yeah, self-preservation is first, man. Self-preservation. I always got to take care of yourself first. Because without your health, you can't do this. So.
Definitely. And I had fun in the things, but I was like, I would get done with the two podcasts, and I'd be there like in pain.
Yeah.
And my doctor was like, just stop. You can't do that with your neck and everything. So now I've gone through all that treatment, all the shots, whatever. So back to somewhat normal. Will never be the same again, but back to some normalcy. So now I'm ready to take this, and I had the idea. I was like, man, let's just do more than basketball. I know a bunch of people who are into sports, but they do other cool things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna try to introduce some people to some new content, some new characters. Corey, definitely with your clothing line. I'm gonna get something, but you gotta XL, bro.
We gonna of course. We go all the way up to like 2X.
I ain't been XL since '97, bro.
We go up to 2X, bro.
Oh, you go, bruh. 2X,
so we go up.
I ain't been 2X since 2007.
We gonna get you, bro. Jay, you got my number, so
I got your number, I know, but I'm looking for my son. When I thought my son was going into school, I was like, yo, if he going back into the school, I'm gonna talk to Corey, be like, yo, them smalls, he could probably get them small. I have my son swagged out. People be like, yo, who's that? And my son could be like, yo, this is some stuff that y'all don't know about. My dad knows the dude, but I'm still gonna get him swagged out though.
Appreciate that. We'll work something out, bro. All you gotta do is hit me up, bro. We'll figure it out.
So to the fans out there, appreciate you hanging in with us. We're back. My man Mike has jumped on board. Corey's going to be back and forth jumping in. We're going to talk basketball, sports, fashion,
whatever. Like, we can get into it all, bro. I'm out here.
Video games, whatever.
It could be political, money, like whatever y'all want to talk about.
I might have to do a reunion show. I might have to bring the Arcade Token Boys. What's their name? Lango.
Man. Our podcast brothers, do a shout out to them too. Also, man, Super Weapon Podcast.
What's the name? I always say the podcast name wrong.
Super Weapon Podcast. I did the logo for them, by the way.
What's that?
Those dudes.
I did the logo for him, by the way.
Oh yeah, you did my logo too.
Yeah.
Well, you did my other logo.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk again. We have to talk again because I might have to redo it for what me and Mike are doing here.
Yeah,
but I might have to do a reunion special with the Super Weapon Boys. You know,
that'll be dope.
Cage talk.
Cage talk. Oh, that cage talk. Oh,
yeah.
See, the fans don't know about that cage talk.
They don't know about that.
We might have to do that next week, and we might stream that live too. We might have to stream that live.
Oh, I don't want to do that cage talk.
Oh, man.
So we'll be on the lookout for that. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been your host, Lynton Felix, and he is
Micah Almond.
And thank you to my man Fresco Jones, Brthrs Clothing. Check them out.
I appreciate you guys.
And check us out on Instagram. Where we at? Facebook, Twitter. You've seen the info, and all the info is going to be in the description notes on YouTube and on the podcast. So thank everybody for tuning in. God bless. Good night.
Good night.